Hi, I am Miriam Pisano, and I'm here at Triton College with two culinary students. I'm here with Salome Anleu and Zubair Muhammad. They are studying Culinary Arts at Triton College, and I'm really excited to talk to them today. So, where did you both grow up and go to school?
Go ahead.
So I grew up in Morton Grove. My local community college does not have a culinary arts program, so that's why I decided to come to Triton. It's a 15-minute drive, but it's a really great program, and it's the closest to my house, so that's why I'm here.
Okay, what year are you at Triton?
A second year, I actually graduated last week.
Congratulations.
So I just got my associates in culinary arts.
Okay, and where do you plan on going next year to finish your degree?
I don't plan on finishing my degree. At this point, I just plan on racking up experience.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my next step.
Okay, go ahead, Sally.
I grew up in Berwyn.
Okay.
So south from here. And then the community college that I did go to was Morton College. And then once I took like all the prereqs and I came out to here.
Okay, and what made you both interested in going into culinary arts?
For me, my middle school had a really good home economics program, so we learned sewing and cooking. I didn't really care about sewing, but I do like cooking, and it was very interesting. And then my high school was Niles West High School in Skokie. They had a really good culinary program, so I was in classes all 4 years, and by my fourth year, when I finished all the classes, I became a teacher's assistant, because at that point I knew everything that was going on. So like my teacher would let me demo recipes, help out, like plan class lessons. So ever since then I like cooking, and I also work as a line cook because of that experience. And I also did fast food for 3 years. So it all started from home economics.
Where did you work in the fast food industry?
I worked at Culver's for 3 years as a fry cook.
Okay. You know, it's so funny that so many schools are cutting home ec from their programs.
Mm-hmm.
I think home ec is so important. It's a life skill. Learning how to cook and sew and make your own food is such a life skill. I think it's important. I can't believe so many schools are cutting it.
It's actually interesting you say that, because when I graduated from 8th grade, that was the last year they had the home economics program. Because they tore down the kitchen and they made a STEM room instead.
That's
STEM is
what
important.
so many people are doing. Yeah, so many
STEM
schools
is
are doing
important
that.
because it's science and engineering, but the way I see it, should you be able to feed yourself, or should you worry about like engineering?
I completely agree with you.
So I'll let people decide which one's more important.
I mean, why can't we have both? Why can't we have a home ec program and a STEM program?
Yeah.
So my high school kind of did the same thing. I went to Morton West, and they had the home ec, took out home ec, and then they just put in a culinary classroom. So the whole part of like learning how to sew, learning how to basically just, I guess, survive.
Life
That's what
skills.
home ec, yeah. They took that out and they just put strictly culinary, which I guess it was beneficial for me. But there's still parts where, there's stuff that you could learn in home ec that when you move out of the house, you're like, you call your mom, what batteries do I need? What do I need for this? Yeah, so definitely skills that everyone should know.
Is that how you got into cooking, from your home ec class growing up?
So I got into cooking because I like the idea of food brings people together. That is my thing. Growing up in a Hispanic household, both my parents had to work to provide for us, my sister and I. And so the only time we really had, I guess, family time was when we sat down and we ate together.
Okay.
And seeing how that impacted my family, like bringing the people together, that's something I wanna do for other people.
How did food bring your families together?
So I'm Pakistani American. My parents came from Pakistan, and that heavily influences my cooking because I have to eat everything very spicy.
Okay.
You
And do you like to cook? Do you like to cook spicy
I like
food?
to cook. You can even ask Chef Manny every time we're even here. We have the freedom in these classes to taste as we go, so we can adjust it to our liking. And I'm always adding chili flakes, but there's also a lot of ethnic ingredients that thanks to like Pakistani cuisine I use. So like turmeric, coriander, garam masala. So just eating very spicy and seasoning my food because nothing is bland in South Asian.
Okay.
Culture.
What are some popular Pakistani dishes? I'm not really familiar with Pakistani food.
So the three I can think of, one of them is halwa. It's a dessert. We actually have a video of me making that, so that'd be cool.
Okay.
Halwa, it's not specifically Pakistani. It's a regional thing. So there's Middle Eastern halwa, there's European halwa, but there is a variant I made. It's like semolina based. But some of the main popular entrees are biryani and nihari. If you ask any Pakistani person, they'll know about that. So one is like a rice with stewed meat. The other one is like veal or cow bones just cooked down into this hearty broth. And it's like very spicy, dark brown, and you eat it with flatbread.
Yeah, so my mom's from Mexico,
Okay.
and my dad's from Guatemala.
Okay.
They both came very young, so they're both, still very cultured, but still a little bit more Americanized than a lot of, I guess, Hispanic families that are here. And that's something like I'm grateful for my parents. They didn't force us to dive deep into like the Mexican culture. They allowed us to be American and Mexican at the same time. So I had that pleasure of growing up in both. Something that like I love cooking that I did the video here too was green enchiladas. That's something my mom cooked like over and over again. Like when it's a birthday dinner or anything, I was like, yeah, Mom, make me the green enchiladas. Like that's something I'll always ask from her. And even when I make it, I don't know why it doesn't always come out the same way as her.
I know there's something about Mom's cooking.
Yeah, like you could follow it to the T, and it's gonna still be like, Mom, that wasn't your recipe. You changed it on purpose. But it's kind of funny between Mexico and Guatemala. A lot of people will make the jokes that Guatemala is still basically Mexico, but there's a lot of differences like that I've seen with my dad. Like Guatemalans, they don't do spice.
Oh, they don't?
They don't.
Okay.
My dad and his family cannot take it, and every other like Guatemalan that I've met, they can't do spice.
Okay.
Yeah, and then same thing with, they eat more bread. They call it bolillo. They eat more bread than like a tortilla wise. And then when my family, they've gone to Guatemala, we're like, oh yeah, can we get tortillas? And he gave us like pita bread.
Okay.
And we're like, okay.
It's not the same.
It's not.
Yeah.
There's like some things that are the same, the similarities, but there's still the differences as well.
So let's bring this back to Triton. What do you like about the Culinary Arts program here at Triton?
I like that it works for your schedule. So the classes here are 1 day a week, but they're for 5 hours. So they're 5-hour lab courses. And some people might think that, wait a second, 5 hours in 1 day, that's really long. But when you're cooking, time flies by really fast because there's also cooking. There's also cleaning, there's also instruction. So it's not as intense as it sounds, but I like that because if you have class 1 day for 5 hours, it gives you room in the rest of the week to take other classes or focus on other things. So in my scenario, I'm actually also going to be a teacher. So I go to UIC and Triton at the same time.
Wow.
So because of Triton's
And you work.
And I work on the weekends.
So do you ever sleep or not?
No,
not really.
Yeah, so that's what I
Okay.
was talking about. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
sleep much. But the thing is that I graduated from Triton last week, and I
Okay.
get my teaching degree next year. And I was able to do that all within 4 years because Triton's program is very flexible. So it's 1 day a week, but it's 5 hours. So you still have that intense, 5-hour, you have that experience, but you have time to take other classes and manage other things. So that's what I really like about Triton. It's a good program.
So do you want to teach cooking? Is that what your main goal is?
That is my main goal. So my other university, obviously UIC is not a culinary school. They don't have any program like that. So I'm going there to be a history and English teacher. But I've always liked cooking ever since middle school, and Triton's program is amazing. So hopefully with my degree, I could be a culinary teacher because a lot of high schools might not have home economics classes. But like even Sally was saying, they still have a culinary lab.
Culinary.
So
Okay.
yeah, so there are culinary classes, and if I could teach them at high school, that would be perfect because I get to combine cooking and teaching.
All your favorite things.
All my favorite things, yes.
Well, something that I really love about just Triton in general, it's very welcoming. I said I went to Morton College before, and Chef Manny wanted me to tell what happened. It was so bad.
Oh, it was bad?
Yeah, it was bad. I had to retake English 3 times. The way they set it up was that, so for English, I didn't mark as the 100. I marked that as a 86. So from 86, you go to 88, and then you take your 100. But at Morden, I don't know why they do this. They combine 88 and 100 together. So you could be taking your 88 and your 100 at the same time. But if you're failing 100, you have to drop both classes at the same time. So I had that experience where, like, I had a professor who I was passing 88, failing 100 because I wasn't at a 100 level.
Oh, no.
And I asked him, I was like, what can I do to improve this? And he was like, just look at the stuff I wrote on your other paper and apply it to this one. And I was like, I have. So it was like a couple days before the semester ended, I was like, I still have enough. I'm going to fail. So I dropped the class, picked up the other English class. I should have passed with a C. My Blackboard grade said C. And then when I checked my transcripts, it said a D.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I went to appeal it because I was like, it says a C. Like, I know I had a C. And when the dean was like, let's talk to your professor about it, what happened? The professor was like, yeah, no, your grade was a C, but I don't think you deserved it, so I bumped you down. And then the dean just said, that's your answer. Have a good Christmas break. Yeah. So
I'm glad you're having a better experience at Triton College.
The chefs are welcoming. Chef Denise is amazing.
What are some? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what are some professors that you like here in the Culinary Arts program?
Honestly, all the ones I've had have been amazing. Chef Denise, Chef Chris, Chef Manny. Mm-hmm. I haven't had Chef Vanessa, but she's helped me out a lot too. When she pops in and she sees me doing something, she'll like give me tips to improve. They're all willing to help you and to make sure you come out ahead, and that's something like I love about the school.
So walk me through a regular day of like your typical day at Triton in a culinary class. Why don't you walk me through it?
Okay, so classes, if you have a during the day class, so it starts in the morning, ends at the day, you typically start at 8:30. You come in, the chefs will like you here at least 5 minutes before. You have time to put on your chef jacket.
Yeah, getting your uniform takes like 5 minutes because you have to have a thermometer, a Sharpie to label, because you don't just, like, for example, open like a packet of butter or like something. You have to like put a label on it, and you have a Sharpie to label it with the date, who opened it. So your Sharpie, your chef coat, your apron, your hat. So that's a whole process in itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so by the time you're all set with that, the chef, whoever's teaching, will come in, lay down your task, what you need to do. Sometimes, depending what the chapter was the week before, we'll go over the chapter briefly and how we're going to apply that to the class then. So we go through, and then we come back into the kitchen area, and we start our task. We start off with, filling the sinks, making sure the dish machine is running, is good. We grab our sanitation buckets, make sure everything's wiped down, and then that's when we really, really get started.
And I know you work at a restaurant outside of Triton, so what is that like? Do you kind of feel like what you're learning at Triton helps you with your job you work at Cooper's Hawk?
Yes, I work at Cooper's Hawk.
In what town
So I work at Cooper's Hawk in Morton Grove. It's amazing. It's a new restaurant that opened last year. Cooper's Hawk is amazing. I started working there last year because the one I work at, it's only 5 minutes from my house. They opened new last year in 2021. The great thing about that is that I went in fully prepared because of Triton here. So I, been going to Triton before I started working at Cooper's Hawk, but a lot of the skills that I use at Cooper's Hawk are because of Triton. So for instance, if we're here cooking, Chef Manny will make sure that, you have a sanitizer bucket so you could wipe down your station. You're washing your hands at all times. You have your towels nice and folded with you. So these are a lot of skills that when I went to work, they're like, hey, you have to keep a sanitizer bucket. We do this thing at work called Green Light Go, where every 30 minutes you have to like change your bucket, sweep. We already do that over here. If we spill something in the classroom, we don't just like walk away. We clean it up immediately. We're always sanitizing counters. And also it's a lot of the skills used in the culinary classes here as well. So when I was first applying to Cooper's Hawk, they did ask me what's the internal temperature of like a medium rare steak. They asked me for different knife cuts, and thanks to these classes, as well as my prior culinary experience, I knew the answer to all those questions.
Sally, do you have a job outside of Triton?
I don't work. I have worked in the industry. I worked during high school and then the first 2 years of my going into college. It could get intense, but it's like something he said earlier that there's just like a type of rush to it. It's definitely an adrenaline rush because you get like all these orders pouring in. You have to run back and forth doing it, and it's crazy, it's hectic, but there's also like you have fun doing it. At least I do, where it's like it's busy. You gotta like put out 3 of the same dishes, and then 2 different ones. It's fun. I liked it.
Do you have a specific restaurant that you'd like to say on camera that you've worked at?
I worked at City Barbecue.
Okay.
So it is a barbecue. They actually went into my high school looking for employees to start off. I started off in the dish room and I worked my way out. Any culinary students that are watching this that haven't worked in the industry yet, it's most likely they'll start you in the dish room just because you don't have any experience. Don't wait for them to take you out. Take yourself out. That's something I did. Whenever I was caught up with dish, I'll go out, see what station needed help, and I'll tell them, what do you need help on? Or I'll just stand there, not creepily, but I'll stand there and watch them. So someone did fall short, I already knew what to do. So like, I guess I kind of self-trained myself in the spots, but that's something also that you want to get far in this industry, that's something you need to learn. You need to learn to take that first step out.
And Triton really,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Triton really has prepared you for that.
Oh yeah, especially with the chefs here. They see the level you're at, and then they'll push you.
Just adding on to that, you have to be very assertive, and working in a restaurant, you have to be very assertive. Like if it gets busy, then I'm usually a calm person, but working at restaurants, you can't be like this calm. You have to shout sometimes, like, "Hey, I need some plates over here.
Yeah.
I'm running low on this. Can like a prep person bring up like a hotel pan of like chopped cucumbers?" So you have to be assertive, and communication is really important. And this program has you working with a lot of other students, so you learn that communication as well as kitchen language. So like, if you're behind someone, you say behind. If you're holding a knife, you can't just like walk down the line. You cut someone. You have to like,
you guys say
sharp, and like you have to hold your knife down. So there is this kitchen lingo that I use at work that I first learned here at Triton, and it's universal.
Yeah. Being a chef is not easy, from what I've been hearing from both of you. Does not seem like, but it seems like it's rewarding, and if you love it, it's very fun.
The adrenaline rush when it gets busy, it's amazing.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah,
it's a great feeling. It's rewarding. It's very rewarding.
Definitely the feeling at the end of class as well. Like, knowing when Chef Annie was like, "All right, last table's out, you guys are done." It was just that kind of thing. We would look at each other and we're like, we high-five each other.
And then we would just breathe, and then we have to clean up everything. Yeah. But at least the service is over and it went successful.
Yeah, it's a great feeling knowing that we dished out food for 20 people. None of it came back. And we accomplished it.
And
like, it was just a great day. Yeah.
Yes.
What are your future? This will be the last question. So, what are your future plans?
I want to be a culinary teacher. I'm very indecisive. I like teaching and I like cooking. So I told you I worked at Culver's for 3 years. Now I've been working at Cooper's Hawk for 1 year. So I've been working in restaurants for 4 years. But at the same time, I got my teaching degree next year. So I also want to teach, but cooking is something I'm definitely going to do on the side. Because the thing about me is I'm not the type of person to do just like one thing and like sit down. I've been going to 2 schools, and I also work, and I also used to work on the weekends. So I'm not just gonna teach. I'm also gonna do cooking on this because like
you're always on the go.
I'm kind of extra in that sense because
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing because I like to balance out both my interests because I really do like cooking, but at the same time I want to teach at a high school. So to sum it up, if I could teach cooking at a high school, that would be like the perfect career for me. Or even, teaching here at Triton if it ever happens down the road.
That sounds great. What about you, Sally? What are your future plans?
I definitely would love to open up my own catering company. I want to go towards catering company and private chef. Like I said in the beginning, I like the idea that food could bring people together. And I feel like in a restaurant, you still do that, but you don't get that personal connection of like speaking to a client, making sure everything goes according to their way. So you are, in a way, part of their their special party or their event they're gonna have. I want to have that. I want to see it happen as well. So that's something like catering and private chefs have the power to do. They could bring it together. So that's something I definitely would like to do.
Actually, I do have one more question. What do you like to do for fun? It seems like both of you don't have a lot of free time, but what do you like to do for fun when you have it?
I like to cook when I.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
You like
it's
to
cooking.
I like to cook.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's a
I mean,
lot of
I like
cooking.
trying out new things too. Well, I like trying out most things. I'm also kind of picky with what I eat. So just cooking. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I do it for work, but I also do it when I'm bored. But also, I'm always doing something. So it's not like I'm just sitting at home every other day cooking. But it is something. If I have free time, I'll try something out.
Yeah, definitely. Cooking's gonna be one of it.
Cooking?
Especially when I get stressed out, I start cooking. It's therapeutic as well. It really is.
Helps you feel calm.
Yeah. So like I'll start cooking and we have like an exam coming up. Like that's what I start doing. I start cooking. It'll be like midnight and I'd be stressing. I can't sleep and I just go in my fridge and I'm like, okay, let's do this. I will do like work out a full dish.
Yeah, it's kind
just
of
to calm down.
It's kind of a procrastination thing. Like even if I have a lot of assignments due, I'll be like to my mom, hey, I can make dinner tonight, or do you want me to help you with something? Even though I know I have assignments, it's just I don't know.
It's
it
like
just
a break
helps me
from
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of because I know we both said this, but it's just a lot of fun. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe when you go to Pakistan this summer, you can pick up some new recipes, or you could go into one of the restaurants there and see what they do.
Definitely,
Are
yeah.
you planning on doing that?
Yeah, my mom really likes to cook, and she, almost had me help her in the kitchen too. So she's like that too. If we ever go to eat somewhere, she'd be like, I wonder how they made this. Obviously here, if you go to a restaurant, you can't just like, for example, Cooper's Hawk, if you're a regular customer, you can't just eat something like, I really like this risotto. I'm going to go into the kitchen and see how it's made. Versus in Pakistan, everything is being made in front of you, and people are very like friendly there. There's a lot of hospitality. It's a big part of the culture. So in Pakistan, my mom likes something. She's like, I really like this. They'll take you right into the kitchen and show you how it's made. So,
Wow.
So it's really
that'll be
amazing.
perfect for you
Obviously,
this summer.
it'll still taste different when you make it here because where you source your ingredients, where the climate that food is grown, it affects the taste. But it's still really good.
Okay. Well, thank you both so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
having
of
us.
course. Thank you.